We're back for our second to last live. Ugh. It says we're live.
Okay.
You're now live. Yay, we did it. Oh my gosh. We're here still from our West Jefferson offices with Mike O'Connor, past president of the board of directors for New River Conservancy. He's been involved with New River Conservancy since 2006.
Six.
So you've seen a lot of changes
Yeah, I've seen
in
a
your
lot of
time with
accomplishments.
us, and a lot of accomplishments.
More
So
accomplishments.
tell us why you love the new first. I love to start with that. Like, what's the new to you?
Well, I'm an engineer in background, so I kind of see it as a couple things. Looking at it from an environmental engineer perspective, I see it as the canary in the coal mine for our watershed.
Sure.
So it tells us the health of the watershed because everything that's in the watershed drains down into it. And so if you can take a look, do the good work that New River Conservancy is doing, doing the water testing, doing the shore restoration, and just being a presence on the new and keeping an eye on things all the time, you get an idea of the health of that.
Yeah.
And so it to me on the engineering side, that's what I love about it is it gives us the health of the watershed.
I like it.
Yeah, but then on the natural side, there's nothing better that when you know it's a clean and healthy environment. You take a ride on Railroad Grade Road down in Todd,
Yep.
and you watch a bald eagle come down and snatch a fish out of the water.
I saw that when I was after we did the 163 opening.
Mm-hmm.
I took a river trip with Kelly, and we saw a bald eagle do exactly like that.
Yeah, so I mean that shows you got
amazing.
You got a very healthy ecosystem, and that means that things are good. And then of course you got all the recreational stuff about
Sure.
the new, which floating the new or fishing the new or whatever. It's great to see people down there enjoying it and knowing that by the work New River Conservancy is doing, that the river's clean, it's safe, and it's getting people involved up and down the watershed. I mean, all the way from I call myself the headwaters guy. I live in Blowing Rock, and
Well, yeah.
it starts in Blowing Rock and goes to Golly Bridge, and we have 3 states, and each state is uniquely involved in their way with the river, and it's great to be able to be a part of an organization that gets all 3 states together and allow them to coordinate, and all for the good of the new, for the new.
Yeah,
and that
for the
to me
watershed.
yeah, that's for the watershed.
Yeah,
That's
I've
really
said
important.
a couple times today, we have 20 counties, around 350 miles of river,
Mhm.
so 700 miles of river banks on
Right.
each side, and over 10,000 square miles in the
Right.
watershed.
Right. And that doesn't even include the streams and
If
creeks.
everybody in that 10,000 square miles gave $5, wow, what a difference we could
Oh
make.
yeah, it'd be huge.
That
It'd
would be
huge.
great.
Yeah. And
Because
it makes a difference.
it does make a difference. $5 makes a difference. $50 makes a difference. Give what you can. And I've been saying today, give where you live.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah,
that
good.
10,000 square miles,
Is where we live.
that's a lot of people living.
That's where we live.
That's where we live.
Yeah.
So I do think that the New River has something for everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether
Yeah, there's
you're
so many. Yeah, it's not just the New River. I mean, we are the New River Conservancy, but we're also we take care of the entire watershed,
Yeah.
right? So all the streams that feed in, everything from a small, little creek up a mountainside that finally works its way down and joins another creek and joins another creek and a
Yep.
bigger creek until it hits like Big Horse Creek or you name it, Fox, or you pick your favorite, the Greenbrier River watershed. That all feeds
Huge.
into the new. And so all those stream banks up in those higher elevations or those higher, back up the tributaries, that's part of the new. That's
Thousands and thousands and thousands of miles.
right. And so by taking care of that, we take care of and we protect the land there, by getting all these
The easements.
easements and just outright land purchases and holding purchase,
Sure.
for state parks and whatnot, state and national parks. We protect the land that is the waters percolating through that ends up in the new.
Yeah.
So that's all it's vitally important in so many ways, just not the new itself, but the entire watershed. So people need to understand that when you give to the New River Conservancy, you're just not giving to protect the New River itself,
Right.
but all its tributaries and the land and the forests. And, we bought a forest last year.
I know
So,
Elizabeth, our executive director, that I was hoping would join us, likes to say that we bought a mountain, a forest, and a park.
Hey
Here she
friends!
is.
A mountain, a forest, and a park. 2022 was a big year,
that
and
was a great year.
couldn't have done it without the generosity of many, many donors.
absolutely.
Yeah, we opened that park this year,
We did.
just a few months ago.
5 miles upstream of Elk Shoals. Am I still online?
Yeah.
You're still,
Yeah.
you're, yeah.
Mhm.
This is our executive director, Elizabeth Underwood.
Hi, friends.
She's been very busy today, so I'm so thrilled that you would
Yeah.
take just a couple minutes to come over and say
Thank
hello.
you. And thank you all for giving to New River Conservancy on Giving Tuesday.
Vitally
Yay.
important. Vitally important. Yeah, it's not even that. We even had a hand in the. At least I won't say we had 100% to do with it, but we did have a hand in getting the New River Gorge, designated as the nation's newest national park. So I mean, it's a lot. I mean, we do so much for such a small organization. It's we leverage the funds, and one of the things. I've been working with New River Conservancy since 2006 when I first showed up as a facilities director at Appalachian State University, and our previous executive director, George Santucci, showed up one day right when I first showed up and said, "Hey, we've got the Middle Fork running through the middle of your campus, and we have a project that's been stalled for 10 years with the Army Corps of Engineers. And I heard you're an old Navy engineer. Would you be able to help us with that?" And I said, "Sure."
There you go.
Started working with New River Conservancy then, and did numerous projects around campus. I would provide matching funds from the university or the state, and then George would line up his contracts and his different contractors. And over the years, we did an incredible amount of work.
Yeah.
And so what I really liked about the New River Conservancy is, I call it the one organization up here in the high country. There's probably more than this, but I'm fond of it. Is for the ones I've worked with, New River Conservancy executes. They get things done. And so when you give $1 to New River Conservancy, it's not just going to sit in a fund somewhere. It's going to be put right to work.
It's going to work.
And it's not going to be just overhead. It's going to, it's going to get things done and major projects. Major projects, because the grants that we get from both the federal and state government up and down the watershed, that we take the money to match with, it's significantly greater. The amount of the donations we've leveraged to get work done. I can't put a number on it, but it's multi-million dollars in projects for 10 cents or a penny on the dollar.
Right.
So that's really important.
I think part of the genius of New River Conservancy is they know what relationships they have.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can work with the state, they can work with the federal, they know what person to go to, and if they don't know the person, they know the person that knows the person.
Right.
And they're not afraid. We're not afraid to ask, "Hey, can you contact your buddy, whoever, to help us get this done?"
We have a deep Rolodex, very deep Rolodex, and
a
very
good way to put it.
historically deep Rolodex. I mean, it goes back. The organization goes back to the original dam fight, up here in the high country, and some very big names were involved in that. When I read the New River Controversy, the book about the deal, and I was a young kid in high school living in D.C., and I'd read about the New River in the Washington Post, but and I'd heard about it because I'd explored a lot of West Virginia and whatnot. But to find myself now as an adult, or now as a senior adult at this point, being able to be a part of that organization that started the thing. This was back in the days of Earth Day and Silent Spring, and the whole start of the environmental movement. We were New River Conservancy back then, known as the Committee for the New River, was at the forefront, the vanguard of doing these kind of things to protect the environment. So it's got a rich history. It's accomplished a great deal. I still think some of our greatest accomplishments are ahead of us. I mean, I don't want to say what we have
still to come.
Oh, it's been amazing. I mean, when you see what a little group like this can do, and with your donations, your tax deductible donations, I'll say that we're 501c3. And it's really important that you see what we do, and it's amazing what we've done. And our website is a good resource for folks to go take a
Yep.
look at what we're doing. And other than
And that's getting
Facebook,
better all the time.
yeah, it's amazing to see what we do. And it's important, I'll just put a plug in for Giving Tuesday. If you're watching this on Giving Tuesday, it's a great time to, it's the end of the year. You kind of know where your year is going to end up with your taxes and everything else. So now's the time to break out the checkbook and start writing those end of year checks. That you get your tax deductions, and even if you don't get a tax deduction, now's still the time to reach out, and if you're fortunate enough to be able to give $5, $10, or $10,000, or whatever that number may be, it's really important that you have the opportunity to write that check and know that your money is going to be well spent and well invested, and it's going to multiply. And the next time you come down to the New River and you paddle it or walk along it or just hike in the woods around it in the watershed, you can say, yeah, I'm part of this.
I helped do that.
Yeah. I helped do that. There's nothing better than that than coming down and looking and saying, yeah, I'm part of this, and spreading the good word. Because if it wasn't for people like you out there giving this kind of money,
that's right.
The New River would be dammed up. It would be an eyesore. It would be polluted. It would be, you name it. It would not be what we have today. And so really important for everybody to think real hard about supporting causes that, really help you in your quality of life and helps the quality of the environment up here in the high country and all the way down to Golly Bridge in West Virginia and through Virginia. It's a 3-state organization, like I said, and all the counties in between. And now we have a new government task force that for the first time ever, as we continue to grow our reach, we have week or bi-monthly now meetings up and down where all the governments, local governments and town governments, and maybe even some industries are starting to participate in this meeting to say, hey, how can we leverage each other to really bring the New River to the forefront? How can we work
those relationships?
Yeah, things like building a New River water trail.
Yes,
one of the counties has already started doing that, and so they've set the bar high. Now all the other counties are learning about it and realizing how much tourism dollars it brings in and how it brings more people to the river. And so now we're all saying, well, let's do this up and down the watershed. So it's stuff like that just gets you excited. And
it does. And you can do simple. And one of the things a couple weeks ago, I got a message from, I don't remember her last name, Jimmy. Maybe Elizabeth would remember. They donated, they have an easement. They're here in North Carolina. She was part of the original National Committee for the New River.
For the fight. Yeah.
And lovely woman. And she said, I remember still taking our painted rocks up to Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
But they knew they were right. The National Committee, they knew they were right. They didn't, I can't even imagine bringing a painted rock, right, to a senator. Hey, do this, but
whatever it takes. So I've worked on Capitol Hill, and so I've been in those meetings, and it's all about relationships, and it's all about building those relationships. We build it up and down the watershed, bring people together for a common good, and then take that voice up to state capitals. Our executive director is often at county board meetings up and down the watershed. They said 20 county board meetings.
Yeah.
And she's in West Virginia at the legislature. She's in Virginia at the legislature. She's in Raleigh at the legislature.
Yep.
And then, she's worked with.
We've cloned her, actually.
Yeah. She's up in D.C., making calls on.
We've made a clone. We're talking about you.
Making calls on Capitol Hill and the ARC, the Appalachian Regional Commission, and doing great work with them right now and working really hard. And that's, it just goes to show you that, again, we may be a small organization.
Small but mighty.
But very mighty. Yeah, mighty.
Very mighty.
And we get a lot done. We execute, we get the projects done. And our staff is really committed. They're very committed. And, if you help us fund them in their positions, then, Katie bar
we
the door,
appreciate that.
We
do.
They're going to get great things done. A couple examples of some other things that have been done up and down the watershed is, one of the things people want to enjoy the river, but you got to have access to the river.
Yep.
And so over the years, we've worked on getting access points built along the river. And this is anything from a simple boat ramp or a simple access point where you can walk and launch your kayak or your inner tube or whatever. We just put in through some generous donations and some hard work from our staff. We just created and Ashe County. Got to give them a big shout out and the supporters in Ashe County that we created a 163 Highway 163 access point, and it's a game changer of an access point because it allows you to float from 163 to Zaluz or all the way down to Elk Shoals. So you can do a 5-mile float or a 10-mile float. It without any bridges, no low water bridges to have to either get under or portage around. Yeah. So I mean that's a big one, and we're doing that stuff up and down the river watershed. Yeah. So yeah, those are the kind of projects we do to help enhance recreational use. But we're also doing live stake plantings. We're doing you name it to try to stabilize banks. You know, we're working right now with at the very headwaters, the very headwaters, the Middle Fork up in Blowing Rock. We're working to extend or help restore the river. Where one of our sister organizations, the Blue Ridge Conservancy, is working to put in the Boone to Blowing Rock Greenway. And you know that is takes two groups to make that happen, and we're working together on that. So again, we work with our sister organizations, and so we find a way to take your donation, leverage it, work with people, whether it be another environmental organization, another governmental organization, another business, or county or state or federal, and just make the place better all the way around. Restore it to what its grandeur and keep things rolling, keep the water rolling.
In Giles County, where I live, where the New River runs through my county, like 2 or 3 miles from my house.
And you're on the West Virginia border, right?
We're like 12 miles from West Virginia. But like Renew the New and the county, we're collaborating, and we've got 22 access points.
22 access points.
In Giles County alone.
Yep.
On the new. That's insane.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And we've got trails, and we talked about the parks we've done.
Sure.
So we've the Great Santucci Pass Trail, and there's a bunch of other trails that we've
wait a minute.
We've put in and working with the state and the state park service and whatnot. So we've added trails and hiking opportunities for people, you know, to be able to access waterfalls and whatnot. And then again for fishing, you know, you go up and down these streams, the habitat that we maintain for trout fisheries and smallmouth bass fishing. I mean, what a great deal that is. I mean, it allows the people to enjoy the stream and brings the necessary, you know, biotic life to the stream, you know. And
I think that's too with the New River, just with the watershed. You don't have to be one certain type of person.
Nope. You
don't have to be any political party or one political party. You don't have to be rich or poor, male or female, young or old, because it's for everybody. It's a national treasure. It's a national treasure. I mean, let's face it. It's the second oldest river in the world, and and it flows north. I mean, how cool is that? It's the coolest. Yeah, it is. It's a great river. Yeah, it really is a great river, and we're only one of 2 rivers in the nation that are both wild and scenic and historic. I always get these designations, but we're a national historic river American heritage. American heritage. Darling. And there's only one other river in the United States that has those dual designations, and you'll never guess it. So I'll just tell you, it's the Rio Grande. So that's what we're talking about. You know, it's up there. It's up there with some the mighty rivers of the United States. You know, if you had to pick a list of the top 10 or 20 rivers, most important rivers in the United States, I think we'd be on that list for sure. Sure. So it's really great to be part of this organization and to be able to do those things. So if this kind of stuff excites you, and you wouldn't be listening to watch this if it doesn't, that's right. Please break out that checkbook or just write a check. Donate online at newriverconservancy.org. Yeah, I'm old school. I write a check, right? But you can do that online with however you want. Click on donate. We've got some give and gets. We got so excited talking about the New River. I totally forgot my job. We do have some give and gets. This Giving Tuesday, and you can still get in on them until midnight tonight. One is if you donate $35 or more, you can get this snazzy pair of Hellbender,
Socks.
Harry Hellbender socks.
I've got a pair. Two, actually.
Do you?
Two, actually.
And these are super popular. And Stella, do you know where one of the poetry magnet kits are?
Yeah. I get right behind you.
Is it behind me?
No, I was gonna say it's
Oh.
right behind us.
We also have for your donation of, so this was a donation of $40. You get the socks. With a donation of $75, you get this very, very cool. It's just an empty tin. No, it's not. It's a poetry magnet kit. It's the first poetry magnet kit specifically for watersheds, and use it to teach your kids about a watershed and conservancy. Use it to teach yourself, riparian. I started working here in May. On my third day, I went to the Saved by a Salamander event.
Oh, right.
And Katie was working on a riparian buffer. And I said, what is a riparian? She's like, it's a stream bank. I was like, why can't you say that? She said, because it's more than that. And she's right, it is. Yeah. So we have riparian in that. And also today only, before midnight, if you donate $24 or more, but this is from our great partner, Kelly McCoy.
Okay, right.
With River Girl Fishing. She was here earlier this morning at 10 o'clock.
Oh, that's great.
For our live then.
She's wonderful.
She's wonderful. All of our partners are wonderful.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you donate at least $24, I'm looking at you, college kids. $24, you get a tube trip for you and a guest, plus this beautiful sticker. Look, it's got New River right on it. We won't make you tube tonight. Or even this month. You can wait till spring.
Yeah,
but you got to get it in today before midnight. And also, very, very special, I'm going to drag this computer over with a $350 donation before midnight tonight. We had a very special glass piece made for us by Kimberly Marlin. Her father was our volunteer of the year. Look at that. So beautiful. So $350 gets you your name in our raffle. It's going to happen tomorrow morning. So you do not want to miss out on that. I just want to donate like $350 10 times.
Right.
So that I could get 10 chances to win that beauty.
Yeah,
so
Kim's a great supporter. Her dad was a great supporter as well. Always enjoyed being in all the different events with him, and so it's wonderful. That's wonderful. People help us out. So please take the opportunity to try to get that for $350, and we could certainly use it. And you got all your other giveaways here.
Yep.
You put those magnets on your refrigerator and have at it. You can create poetry all day long.
That's
just
right.
Tell stories. So
there you go.
That's wonderful. Great stocking stuffers for the upcoming
perfect stocking stuffers.
Christmas season, whatever.
You'll get in. There you go.
All right. Well.
All right. Well, Mike, thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate all the work that you've done through the years. This is your last year on the board.
Last year on the board.
So
statutorily, after 6 years, I have to. I have a term limit, and so I'll be leaving the board for a year.
But we'll be seeing you on the new.
Oh yeah.
And we'll be seeing you on the new, and hopefully you can get your donations in and help us do even more.
Right.
I thank y'all.
Take care.
Take care.